it wasn't politics, there's a genocide going on.
If there was, there's not a genocide, but
you're probably wondering how we even got to this point. So let me just explain the context of it all. So I'm gonna keep this as succinct as I possibly can so that you can understand how we got to this point. My client, she comes in. There's not really any kind of greeting, hi or hello. She immediately asks me, is Karimi my last name? Because Karimi Brows is my business name. I say, no, it's my last name. She asked me if it's my first name. I say, no, it's my last name. My first name is Fatana. I'm Fatana Karimi. I want to welcome her in and offer her a drink, let her sit down. She's standing the entire time and I'm like, trying to gesture her to sit down. I ask her to sit down multiple times. She's still not sitting down. And then she asks me, where are you from? And I go, from Afghanistan. And she goes, oh my God, that's so amazing. I'm writing a novel about Afghanistan. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so fantastic. She's like on her Angelina Jolie stuff. Okay, period. Like, I love that for her. I try many times to bring the conversation back to eyebrows, but she keeps talking about Afghanistan. She keeps getting really excited about it. And I don't want to like dim down her excitement because every client comes in here and we talk about different things. And I love to entertain whatever conversation my clients come in and want to talk about. So I'm like, okay, I'm down. Let's talk about it. But I have to leeway it into brows. We talked about brows a little bit. She shows me a picture of some eyebrows that she likes. And finally she gets back into it. She literally says, oh my God, okay, can we start talking about Afghanistan again? Because it's so amazing that you're from Afghanistan and I know so much about it. And I'm like, of course, that's amazing. I would love that. Why not? I'm starting to do the shape of her eyebrows, okay? She starts going into really deep topics of like 9/11 and she starts talking about how we should have never invaded Afghanistan, how we should have invaded Pakistan, and how, oh, somebody needed to pay for 9/11 and it should have been Pakistan and all this stuff and it was the wrong country and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I know a lot about 9/11. There's a lot of public government records about it. I'm not getting into that right now. Either way, I'm like, whatever. We start sharing certain perspectives, whatever. She starts going back into the politics of Afghanistan and asking about certain generals and like, what do you think about Ahmad Massoud Khan or Shah or something? I don't even know who that is. And I'm like, call me an idiot. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm trying to entertain the conversation as much as I can, but I think I'm just too much of an idiot for my own good. I honestly deeply want to stop talking about Afghanistan because who wants to talk about the tragedies of their culture, of their ethnicity, of their everything when you're trying to do somebody's eyebrows? I want to entertain it and respect to her, but I also don't really want to talk about this. So I just try to change the subject and I'm like, what is your novel about? She lets me know that the novel is about a young Muslim boy that comes to America who's Afghan and a young Jewish boy from Israel that comes to America. I don't know how that works, but they go and they fight in the U.S. Army, and then like they go to Afghanistan and they go to Israel and something like that and whatever. And I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. Like Judaism, such a beautiful religion. Islam, such a beautiful religion. Like two of very similar religions coming together and like such brotherhood and stuff like that. I was like, everything sounds beautiful except for the Israeli part. I don't hide the fact that I don't support Israel and I don't like Israel. I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows that on my page. So she ignores it and I'm like, thank God we don't have to talk about this. But then she brings up the fact that she's Israeli American and I ignore that because I don't really care where you're from. It really doesn't matter to me. Like it doesn't make me look at you any different. Whatever your ethnicity is, like it doesn't matter to me. You're Israeli American. That gives me a bad vibe and stuff because I don't believe in that. But there's Israelis who don't support the Israeli government. There's Israelis who don't support what is happening right now to Palestine. So I don't know where you stand. I have the, benefit of the doubt that I can always give to anybody. She starts talking about Afghanistan again and I'm just a yes man. I'm like, yeah, ooh, that's very cool, whatever. And then she goes, and you know what I find really interesting that's different between Israeli men and Afghan men? I'm thinking like, what the hell is this woman gonna say? Like, okay, sure, tickle me. Like, what do you better say? She goes, Israeli men, it's interesting because Afghan men, they like to not show their emotions. They're a lot more like keeping a strong face and a strong front. Whereas Israeli men, they like wear their emotions on their sleeve and they're not afraid to cry and they're not afraid to show their emotions. They don't mind looking silly. Microaggression much? Passive aggressive much? Like, okay, so I was like, whatever. She wants to compare Israeli and Afghan men. I can compare an Israeli and Afghan man because this is my studio. This is my business. And if you want to talk about this non-stop, we can talk about this. So I said, I think the difference between an Israeli man and an Afghan man is that an Afghan man was raised in Afghanistan and he's from Afghanistan. And then an Israeli man, he's either from Brooklyn or Miami or Eastern Europe, or his dad is or his grandpa is. And that's kind of where it stops because Israel was born like yesterday. Is that not true? And she goes, no, actually, she tries to correct me and say, there's Israelis that have been living there for thousands of years and have lineage there for thousands of years. I said, yes, there are Jewish people who have been living there peacefully for thousands of years. And they've been living in Palestine. And she goes, no, it was always Israel. It's a beautiful country and it's filled with beautiful people. And that's where I stop her. I just kind of like start taking my gloves off and I'm like, I can tell where this is going. And I don't do this type of stuff. Like I'm not going to do your eyebrows if this is where it's heading and we're starting to get into like some sort of political argument. If I wanted to get into politics, I would have ran for office. I do eyebrows. I was like, it goes against my morals. I'm going to go ahead and just end this appointment. I'd ask you to kindly leave. And I'm just not, you're not getting your eyebrows done today by me. I'm not going to, or any day. I'm not doing your eyebrows. And she immediately gets offended. She goes, is it because of my ethnicity? And I was like, no, it's not because of your ethnicity. It's because of the fact that you won't stop talking about politics. And the politics that, one, I don't agree with. There's a genocide going on and I don't agree with that and I don't respect that. She immediately goes off to say that this is racism. That's when I started recording. And that's when I'm going to show you guys the full video of what happened after that. Because just put yourself in my shoes for a second. If I went to, let's say, like a hairstylist, it could be a brow artist, it could be a lash tech, whatever. If I go get a service done by somebody and they're from some sort of ethnicity or culture or group that has gone through tragedies, whether it be maybe a Black American, whether it be a Vietnamese immigrant, whether it be somebody from the Congo, whether it be somebody from Turkmenistan who it's now part of China. And I start talking about the tragedies they go through. First thing I say, where are you from? Oh my God, that's so amazing. I know so much about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about all the tragedies your culture, where you're from, the group you're a part of has been through. Let's talk about the Vietnam War. Let's talk about slavery. Let's talk about the Congo. Let's talk about the Rwandan genocide. You think that's what a person wants to talk about? Okay, me, I don't really get offended, so it tickled me. Sure, we can talk about it, but you better not misstep because you can easily become very offensive and disrespectful with that. And so it felt so. I'm gonna go ahead and show the full video.
Sitting friends. All right. You stole money from me.
I've not stolen money from you. You made a deposit. I don't support Israel.
Please don't record me. That's really offensive.
No, but actually I also have your video release form too, so.
What does that mean?
That means that you signed a photo video release form.
Okay, I didn't do anything wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong. I kindly asked you to. You just kept saying Israel. You're talking about politics.
No, not at all. I thought we were having a great conversation about Afghanistan, like a culture that I actually admire.
Beautiful. Thank you, and I love that. I kept saying that it's wonderful, and I love what you're doing and everything. But I don't. When you keep saying,
you should give me my deposit back. I had no idea that you would
when
do
you
this
keep
based on my
saying things like I'm Israeli American, and then I say things like, oh, I just don't really support or believe in Israel.
But you were doing this based
and then
on
you're
my
defending it, which is totally fine. You can defend it as much as you want, but this is my business. This is my.
That's fine. That's totally
and
fine.
I'm not going to do it.
But you should give me my deposit back. And if you don't, I'm gonna have to take legal action. And
No, you can. You can take legal action.
But I came here to do a service. I had no idea that my ethnicity, I didn't speak politics at all about Israel.
No, but I made a post on my Instagram that said, if you support Israel, I'm not interested, like, canceling.
I didn't see your Instagram. I didn't look at your Instagram. I just heard wonderful things about you.
Well, thank you very much, because I like to make sure all my clients are really happy. I really like it, but I really don't support, I even have a sticker right here that says Free Palestine. I'm big Free Palestine. I'm huge Free Palestine. I'm massive Free Palestine. I would.
Okay. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't say anything political. I just told you
actually
that I'm from
entire
Israel.
Conversation we had was
we were
political.
talking about Afghanistan.
Yeah,
no,
but that's
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
Israel.
We're talking about everything that is politics, even aside from Israel. But for me, Israel isn't politics. There's a genocide going on.
If there's not a genocide, but
that's exactly. It would be different if you said something like, "Yes, there is a genocide. I don't support what the Israeli government is doing." Yeah, I would have, slide by, but you don't. You just said there's no genocide. Get out of my office.
I'm gonna leave, but I will be contacting somebody to get my deposit.
Go ahead. See ya.